doing today in 163 of The Journey? Hi everyone, so glad to be with you again on our Journey video for today. And the passages of scripture that really stood out to me from today were in Acts 8. And in this passage, it was talking about how the new church, it was being persecuted. And it was talking about different apostles as they're going about teaching and spreading the word of Jesus. And in this passage, we see in verse 26, Philip is told, the Spirit of the Lord comes to Philip and tells him to go back down the road from Jerusalem to Gaza. And during this time, he comes across a man in a carriage who is trying to read some of the old scriptures. He's actually reading a passage from Isaiah, and the Lord prompts Philip to go over, and in that meeting he is able to share the love of Jesus and share the good news to this Ethiopian, and he even baptizes him on the road. And all of that, really what stood out to me is just the obedience of Philip. So in that time, they're being persecuted. He didn't know who he was walking up to, really. I mean, the man was reading the scriptures, but that didn't really mean that he was going to be safe from harm if he went to this man. And I know personally, when God tells me to do something, I always almost hesitate when it's something outside my comfort zone, because I'm like, God, are you sure? Is this really God or is this me? And we can always have those moments of doubt, but I try to remind myself of people like this in the Bible, how they boldly followed Jesus when the Spirit of the Lord told them to do something. They knew they had to obey, because obedience always brings blessing and reward. And God will reward our obedience, and even if it's difficult, even if it's not received the first time, it's okay. In a recent lesson in kids church, I was telling the kids about how we're supposed to invite people to church. And it's something we've talked about as a staff, and it really is something that keeps being brought up in different ways to me. And I feel like God is just subtly reminding me to get out of my comfort zone and really invite people, show the love of Jesus, and really try to reach people even more than I have in the past for Jesus. And I pray that you will be encouraged as well to love people, show them the love of Jesus, invite them to church. We would love to have them, and I can't wait to see you back at church.